Hi, everyone, and welcome to Channel 8's coverage of high school soccer alongside Phil Peterson. I'm Gordy Deal. Today, the East Brunswick girls take on Piscataway in a critical GMC Red Division matchup. Phil, how do you see this one?
Well, Gordy, this match is going to go the way in determining who will be the top seed in the GMC tournament. East Brunswick handled Piscataway very easily their first match, 3-0, which is Piscataway's only loss this year. Piscataway's toughest challenge is going to be trying to find a way to bottle up Heather O'Reilly and Tara Davis, who have done the bulk of the scoring this year. On the other side, the Bears' defense has been a stalwart so far, and they just shut down Tiffany Day, Piscataway's top gun, their first meeting. So Piscataway's got a lot to prove today, and this is going to be a very tough match all around.
All right, so it's 10-1 Piscataway against 10-2-1 East Brunswick. The starting lineups in a moment. And as the captains finish at midfield, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for visiting Piscataway, which comes in with a record of 10-1. In goal, the junior, Bernadette Moran. In front of her at sweeper will be number 23, Carrie Noakes. The stopper, number 16, Mary Jennings. The outside backs, number 17, Jessica Kruger, and number 19, Shania Siebels. Center of the midfield, Nicola Keela, just a freshman, number 18, and number 12, Colleen Reese, who's a senior. The other two midfielders, number 11, Jen Guarneri, who's a senior, number 24, Megan Fenton, who's a freshman, and up top for Piscataway, number 10, Wendy Jennings, who's a junior, and number 15, Tiffany Day, their leading scorer and a senior. She's got 21 goals this season. For East Brunswick, in the back, Alyssa Kesar gets the starting goal, just a sophomore. In front of her at sweeper, number 13, Justine Barbado, who's a freshman. The marking backs, Ilana Unger, number 12, and number 16, Bonnie Reese. The center backs, number 46, Stephanie Simi, and number 11, Lara Eilhart. Middle of the field, number 1, Tara Davis, kind of the anchor of things there, 14 goals and 10 assists. To her left will be Ashley Stapleton at one midfield spot, and number 36, Carrie Devine on the other midfield spot. And up top, number 17, Lauren Hendricks, who's got 5 goals and 6 assists. And the racehorse, number 7, the freshman, Heather O'Reilly, 23 goals and 9 assists in only her first high school campaign.
It's scary to think there's still 3 years plus conference tournaments and some more league games left. That's going to be Piscataway's biggest challenge, and the problem is for Piscataway, they pay so much attention to O'Reilly that they can get beat by anybody else out there as well.
Now, Piscataway certainly has its work cut out for it today, and they are banged up. A couple of players who we saw last time against East Brunswick, which is their only loss of the year, by the way. Renee Zesko is out with a foot problem. She's a junior. In fact, she got injured in the East Brunswick game. She is one of the outside backs who would have been starting today. Also, they'll be without Leah Gombos, who suffered a knee injury in their last game out. She's a senior, so she's finished for the year, but did play last time and started at outside back. Another girl with a problem, Joanne Zesko. She's out with an ankle injury, just a freshman, though, so she'll have time to recover. But a little bit of a banged-up Piscataway team, but they do have their leading goal scorer in the lineup, number 15, Tiffany Day. We'll keep an eye on her today. And there's a lot of family-related players on this Piscataway team. A couple of sister combinations, the Zesko sisters, who are identical twins. You've got Jen Guarneri, who comes from a long line of female greatness and a great athletic family in Piscataway. Had her older sister.
Had to be a great father in there someplace, too.
Had her older sister, Jessica, and Lisa, who was ahead of her. Long line of terrific athletes out of that Guarneri family. So, as the starting lineups are announced, let's take a look at what we have today. East Brunswick, first of all, in the top spot in the Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division. And Piscataway right behind them with a record of 10-1. That only loss that Piscataway has is to East Brunswick, 3-0 early on in the season at Piscataway. So East Brunswick went in there on the road and took care of business. Now they have the home field advantage on an absolutely gorgeous October afternoon. So we'll see what East Brunswick has in store today. And we saw what Old Bridge tried to do with Heather O'Reilly a couple of weeks ago and how they focused on taking their striker, Jen Rebelo, one of the speedsters, and put her back to cover O'Reilly.
Well, as you mentioned at the opening, yeah, you're right, Gordy. Heather is such a smart player that when she realizes she's being double-teamed, she's got a keen sense of finding the open person. And, yeah, she knocked in a couple against Old Bridge, but there were 3 other goal scorers as well. So an opponent can get so focused on 1 or 2 players that it completely not only takes them out of their game, but it brings out the best in the East Brunswick.
And we completely watched Heather O'Reilly's entrance and exit from the game completely change the complexion of the game, because when she was in, Old Bridge's offense went completely stale because they took one of their front runners, Rebelo, and stuck her all the way in the back to shadow O'Reilly everywhere she went. So there went Old Bridge's offense. And when O'Reilly came out of the game and Rebelo was in, Rebelo moved up front for Old Bridge, and that generated at least a little bit of offense. Not enough to win the game. So O'Reilly can fully change the complexion of a game, even as a freshman.
Well, you'd think that coming off an extremely tough loss to Ridge the other day, you'd think that the girls might be a little bit down, but Ridge is still the number 4 team in the state, and the Bears took them to overtime and darn near beat them. That's a tremendous confidence booster for such a young team. They have 5 seniors right now, 3 of whom are starters, so this looms extremely well coming into the postseason and years to come.
So it's 10-1. 10-1 Piscataway against 10-2-1 East Brunswick as the Lady Bears take the field. They're going to be in the home white jerseys, green shorts, and white socks. That's Piscataway in the always catchy gold jerseys, black shorts, and white socks. Well, some of them have those zebra stripes on their socks. In fact, I even see a couple of neon orange cleats that a couple of them are wearing.
Good news, though, gold shirts with black numbers.
Yeah, unlike some of the other jersey combinations we've seen. So here we are, underway at J. Doyle Field. This is Tiffany Day for Piscataway. Pushing it wide for Colleen Reese. Picked off in the midfield. Jen Guarneri looking for help. Guarneri settles. Piscataway hanging on to it early. Shania Siebels in the middle of the park. It's won there by East Brunswick.
A little slow by Devine there. O'Reilly was breaking and pointing to the open space, but Carey couldn't get the ball up over the top.
Far side throw in for EB. Devine with it. Loses momentarily. And Carrie Noakes, the sweeper, punches it forward. Talking to Ann Mayer, the coach of Piscataway, and now in her first year. Before the game started, as we watch O'Reilly work on the defense. Cleared by Noakes. And a whistle. Talking to Ann Mayer before the game, and she said, our team likes to push the ball wide, and they like to get service in the box and have people finish. Well, she was concerned about her team being content to just punch the ball forward because they have some speed and they can race by defenses, but not East Brunswick's. So they're going to have that very important link between the midfield and the strikers today in order to be successful against this tough Bears D.
Oh, the best thing. Well.
Free kick outside the box, deflected by Piscataway. They haven't cleared yet. Hendricks in the neighborhood. Trouble. O'Reilly in front and pokes it right to Bernadette Moran, who makes the first save of the game.
The benefit the Bears have, even though they've got 2 losses, they've played a very strong out-of-conference schedule where Piscataway has had no games out of conference at this point.
So that was neither a shot nor a save. It was actually an offsides call on Heather O'Reilly. Piscataway with the free kick. Near side throw in for Shania Siebels. Now Nicole Aquila. Guarneri for Aquila. High service for Wendy Jennings. Jennings takes one in the gut. Is doubled over. She thinks about that one. Justine Barbado came over to make the clear. EB gets the throw. Tara Davis in a 1-on-2 spot, looking for help. Dumps for O'Reilly, but it's poked away at the last moment by Jessica Kruger. Simi regains for EB. Bonnie Reese plays forward. And Reese will take the throw. Stephanie Simi, wide open in the midfield. Changes fields. Tried it, Stapleton running on. Now Stapleton gets another crack at it. O'Reilly running free in the middle. Service goes over the top, and it'll be a goal kick coming out for Piscataway.
Not a wise decision that time. Stapleton had a lot of space down that right side and opted to go straight towards the net instead of looking for her help coming in down the far side.
Carrie Noakes, the junior sweeper for Piscataway, takes the goal kick. Reese steps up, it skips off her head and rolls back to Barbado.
I think she thought she was a couple of inches taller than she was that time.
Barbado knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a Piscataway throw-in. About 4 minutes gone by here at J. Doyle Field. Opening minutes, no score, no shots. Carrie Devine pushes it out. Piscataway will throw it in again. Jessica Kruger looking for Tiffany Day. Here's O'Reilly. Nice feed wide to Stapleton, who can't corral it. It'll be a Piscataway toss.
Boy, you can see Piscataway seems just a bit leery about pushing their midfielders forward lest they get beat on a quick transition.
Yeah, I've talked to Ann Mayer. She said the only way they're probably going to score today is with a good counterattack. She knows they're not going to win a foot race or by playing the ball long. Here's Kruger. Noakes in trouble with Riley all over. O'Reilly facing two. Still comes away with it. Nice service for Stapleton, who lost the handle, but regains. Still in a battle for it. Davis comes over. Left-footed shot just wide.
Nice turnaround move by Tara Davis. Ashley Stapleton, in her slight frame, did a great job muscling the fullback off the ball, slid it over to Davis, who hit placed a shot. It wasn't a powerful shot, but it had just enough placement.
And you can see those shadows there out in front of the Piscataway goal. Could make things tough for Bernadette Moran. Piscataway throw in on the far side. Far service for the speedster O'Reilly. Up against it with Noakes. One back by Stapleton. O'Reilly, left-footed serve, deflected by Piscataway. Simi was there. Guarneri temporarily clears. Is a play forward intended for Nicole Aquila. Piscataway simply outnumbered, but they win it back. Stapleton knocks it off Piscataway, and EB gets the throw.
Well, one of the things you're leery of, the coach is always leery of in your own end of the field, is a defender trying to deke her way by an opponent instead of just making a safe play and pushing it upfield. That time, Bears were fortunate not to get caught.
No question. Lucas is not looking for any more gray hair. And defenders dribbling in the back will give it to you. I'm looking at you, and I can see you've got some gray. You've watched some defenders dribble in the back, too, haven't you?
No. I just pull mine out. Can't you see the top?
Here's Justine Barbado. One of the things that's so impressive about this East Brunswick's team, sticking a freshman in a key role like the sweeper spot. And having a freshman lead you in scoring. Not too bad. Here's Guarneri looking for help. Tara Davis finds O'Reilly. Well, they know each other already. Good off-the-ball movement from O'Reilly. Davis in a battle with Megan Fenton there in the middle.
I'll tell you, when you have any kind of high school match, let alone a tough conference match, I'm shocked to see there's not as much bunching of players in any one position. There's quite a bit of spacing out there.
Tiffany Day can't come up with it for Piscataway. East Brunswick ball. Stapleton steps up and knocks it forward. Hendricks for Davis. Looking for O'Reilly, they can't connect.
Well, if the Bears can get one up over the top, they're going to beat this sweeper from Piscataway. Big kid, but does not seem fleet of foot to be able to catch any one of the speedy Bear forwards.
Bonnie Reese playing wide. The flick on, intercepted by Piscataway. Tara Davis is there, but it's nodded forward by Fenton. Fenton plays, but again, Wendy Jennings in a 1-on-3 spot. And her teammates unable to get to the ball. 8.5 gone by, still no score. Here's Tiffany Day. Reese on her, out of bounds, East Brunswick throw.
In their first meeting this year, Gordy, Bonnie Reese just did an outstanding job of shutting down Tiffany Day, denying her every pass, and thoroughly frustrating the high score for the Chiefs.
Tara Davis. Lara Eilhart steps in. She gets knocked down. Colleen Reese plays it forward. Eilhart with a clear. Nice push wide by Noakes. Piscataway lofting it over top and going down the middle. Aquila, now Day with a step move. Gets a free look. Her shot is blocked. She had to beat 3 people just to manage to get off a blocked shot.
Justine Barbato getting back to step in front of that.
Jessica Kruger. Here's Fenton. Little chip down the right wing, and that's going to meet up with that sloping sideline and roll out of bounds. O'Reilly, oh, with a nice flick. Great play with her back to the ball. Gets it back from Davis. East Brunswick still with it. And now Siebels will clear forward. Tiffany Day. She of 21 goals this season. Working on Bonnie Reese. Plays through. Guarneri there, but Barbato clears. Davis. O'Reilly can smell it. Lets it roll out. EB throw.
Looks like Coach Mayer is giving Mary Jennings the job of trying to shut down Heather O'Reilly.
Here's Lara Eilhart. Will settle in the midfield. Lauren Hendricks working on Carrie Noakes, and Noakes will play it out. Bonnie Reese steps up, knocks forward. O'Reilly there. Good turn on Jennings. Long service beats the keeper. Stapleton knocks it in.
Beautiful shot. Looked like Lauren Hendrick got that cross up.
That's just a terrific play by Lauren Hendricks. Getting to the goal line, makes the serve. It goes over the keeper, and Stapleton is right where she's supposed to be. So 11 minutes in, East Brunswick has drawn first blood on the goal by Ashley Stapleton. Stapleton, her 5th goal of the season.
You can see even tight marking of O'Reilly's not going to help. Well, she didn't directly get involved in the scoring, but she spun away from her tight marking and fed a beautiful ball just down the left side to Lauren Hendrick. All the Piscataway defenders gravitated towards the ball, leaving Stapleton wide open on the right side, and she knew exactly what she had to do. Didn't try to do anything fancy this time.
That's a page out of Piscataway's book as well. They recognized that as soon as that goal was scored, the defenders knew that they had forgotten about Ashley Stapleton, who came up from the midfield spot to convert. Stephanie Simi now chasing down Colleen Reese.
Well, you know what's going to happen now. All of a sudden, Stapleton will be a player they have to keep an eye on, and it's going to take the focus off of somebody else out there. So
Kruger for Reese. Piscataway with it. Davis stepped in front of Fenton. Davis again. Good job of coming to the ball by Wendy Jennings. Here's Guarneri working on 2 and will lose out. Fenton plays forward, a wide open Tiffany Day. Siebels plays a 50-50 ball at the top of the 18.
Dangerous defense by the Bears right now. They seem to be sitting back waiting to see what Piscataway is going to do instead of taking the initiative back there. They're allowing too many passes by the Piscataway team.
Fenton plays forward after a nice play by Ashley Stapleton. Tiffany Day. Little scissor kick over the top. Nothing doing. Piscataway is applying some decent pressure.
Well, you can see, look the way the Bears are lined up on defense back there. They're almost allowing Piscataway to win those 50-50 balls and then deciding it's time to play defense instead of trying to beat them to those 50-50 balls.
And in football, it would almost be the equivalent of a prevent D.
That prevents you from winning.
Noakes steps up. Davis wins. This is trouble. Noakes got caught out of position. And it's a 3-on-3. Now a 2-on-2. Here comes O'Reilly. O'Reilly, service in the box. Davis is there. Called off by Hendricks. Hendricks pushes it to the goal line. Service in front. It's open. Nobody could get there. O'Reilly backs it up. Hendricks top of the box. A battle in the box and a good job by Hendricks, although they'll call a foul against her. That was the best play she had to make there, and again, she commits the foul 85 yards away from the goal, and coach won't mind that too much. No problem with being aggressive in the box.
You can see the lightning quick transition. Piscataway was setting up camp down in the Bears' end for a few minutes, and all of a sudden, one quick trip downfield almost resulted in a second goal.
Piscataway trying to counterattack. Collision in the midfield. Jennings had a chance at it. And Bonnie Reese clears. Tiffany Day knocks it forward. Playing catch in the air. Fenton plays forward. A little unsettled in the midfield here are both teams.
Bears have enough speed on defense. They should be working harder to challenge those free balls out there. They're going to just set themselves up for some bad news. Here's
O'Reilly. The play forward is knocked out. Good job by Mary Jennings. Jennings only a freshman, so the Piscataway freshman against the East Brunswick freshman in a critical offensive-defensive matchup.
Those two have faced each other in club ball as well, so they're not strangers to each other.
See a lot of each other over the next few years, that's for sure. Lara Eilhart, with her hands on the back of Wendy Jennings, gets whistled. It'll be a Piscataway free kick. About 15 minutes gone by. 1-0 East Brunswick on the strength of Ashley Stapleton's 5th goal of the season. On a tremendous setup by Lauren Hendricks. This is Carrie Noakes, the Piscataway sweeper, with the ball right at midfield. Most of the troops camped out at the 18.
See Jennings admiring the back of O'Reilly's jersey there, admiring it a little too closely.
Push off on Piscataway. East Brunswick with a free kick. Stapleton wins the head ball. A good battle in the air. Stapleton, with help from Davis, loses out to the double team, and it's recollected. Simi plays forward. Hendricks with pursuit, and does a good job of turning the right way to win that ball back for her team. Here's the service by Stapleton. O'Reilly is in there. Shot goes wide. Third shot for East Brunswick.
Now, this game's going to go a long way in determining the seeding for the Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament. It's not really as simple as an East Brunswick win and Piscataway will be seeded second. You've got a Metuchen team in one of the other divisions who's 13-0 right now, who could easily slip up into that second seed.
Noakes with the goal kick. Good aerial win by Simi. Followed up by a good tackle from Bonnie Reese. Nicole Aquila with the long toss down the flank. Here's Stapleton. Her goal the difference right now.
Tough sun facing the Bears keeper right now, Alyssa Kesar.
And a long shot, and it's in. Just as you mentioned, the difficulty of the sun, Kesar got caught a little bit out of position, and Mary Jennings, the freshman, pumped one in from about 30 yards away. That thing brought rain on the way down, and we're tied almost midway through the first half.
It was just a shot where, as quick as Kesar is, she has trouble on those high shots for a tall kid. It's just one of those things, something she'll overcome with seasoning, but that was about a 35 yards out.
And a handball on Guarneri. That's the first goal that Piscataway has scored on East Brunswick this season. Davis plays back for Simi. Intended for O'Reilly. O'Reilly pokes it free from one, but loses out to Noakes. Tiffany Day with help from Guarneri. Playing forward for Jennings. Piscataway with good ball movement. Interrupted by Unger temporarily, and a good play by Alana. Here's a ball up the wing for O'Reilly. Wow, nice save and bounds by O'Reilly, and good work on Shania Siebels. But the ball rolls out, and Piscataway will get the toss. Stephanie Simi will take the throw. East Brunswick and Piscataway tied at 1 midway through the first half. Stapleton. Hendricks plays into the middle, nobody there.
You can see Piscataway playing with a little renewed confidence now.
No question. Here's Tiffany Day. Working on a 1-on-3. Looking for help. She's got Jennings in the middle, but Jennings is double teamed. And there's the result. Piscataway outnumbered, not getting the midfielders forward to create the number situation that they're looking for on the attack, and they wind up playing in a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 constantly. That's why Ann Mayer said the counterattack would be so important for her club today. Carrie Noakes clears for Piscataway.
Nice clear attempt.
Colleen Reese plays it forward, intended for Jennings. And Justine Barbado will punch it out. Reese, now Davis. Here comes Simi, wide for Stapleton. Good idea, and now the counterattack. Tiffany Day, top of the arc, makes the move. Feed for Aquila, she's pushed off. And it's back to Day. Nice pick by Simi, loses out to Guarneri. Guarneri steps into the box, the shot is blocked. Aquila had a look at it, and it was stuffed wide. Guarneri now trying to save it in. And they're going to whistle it was last touch by East Brunswick, so Aquila will get the throw.
East Brunswick getting a little careless back on defense. Time for either the keeper or the sweeper to take charge back there and get everybody organized. And be a little more patient when you're transitioning.
And now the clear. Siebels in the middle of the park for Kruger. Being haunted there by Hendricks. East Brunswick comes away with it. And Piscataway wins it back. Siebels. Nice play by Barbado. Lets it through her wickets, and it's picked up there by Kesar.
That's what you need, is the keeper to be barking out. Everybody knows who's in charge back there.
Fenton plays forward, intended for Day. Here's Unger. Good tackle by Guarneri to win it back. Guarneri intended for Day. Piscataway with good pressure. Here's O'Reilly. Again, Piscataway controls. Lifted into the box and corralled by Kesar on the attempt by Nicole Aquila. But Piscataway has really shrunk the field.
Well, the fact that the Bears haven't been going after those 50-50 balls is really starting to cost them.
Everybody except the sweeper, Carrie Noakes, and the goalie, Bernadette Moran.
Piscataway playing with this lot more confidence we saw at the beginning of the match.
They had jammed 9 of their players into the East Brunswick half of the field and had the Lady Bears on their heels for a moment there.
You can see what happens. The ball gets played out, and the Bears player that was making that first look at the defender instead of to the ball.
Played forward, and again, Kesar gets called on. Nothing too dangerous there. So Piscataway has played in this end, and they've played around, from 25 yards out, but they still have not registered a shot. I'm sorry, that's the shot on goal. That is a pretty big shot, I guess. So I'm a little behind on my stats.
That went in.
One shot. It happened to be on goal, and it happened to be a goal.
It's all right. We're on 24-hour tape delay.
Service in the box. Stapleton had a read on it, but is headed away by Siebels. Guarneri now playing forward. Tiffany Day will pick it up. Guarded there by Bonnie Reese, who promptly dumps Day. It'll be a Piscataway free kick. That's Ann Mayer, the coach, with her hands on her hips. Mayer is the daughter of the boys' head coach at Piscataway, Dennis Mayer, longtime Piscataway boys coach. And an outstanding coach at that. Ann's brother, Chris, had a tremendous career at Piscataway High, went on to play at Princeton, is now an assistant coach at Princeton University. So kind of all in the family coaching there for the Mayers. Good soccer people. Tied at 1 with 16 minutes to play, first half. A little bit of unfamiliar territory here for East Brunswick. Here's O'Reilly. Piscataway wise to it. They just knock it out rather than see O'Reilly run wild through the defense. Substitution now as we get a look at Jenna Barbado, another freshman coming in. And she replaces Carrie Devine on the left midfield.
And Allison Sable coming in for Lauren Hendrick up at the left wing.
So some fresh legs with Sable and O'Reilly up top. Stapleton the throw. Davis the flick. Sable for Simi, who's pushing forward. They can't connect. And a strip by Guarneri. She's been troublesome in the midfield for East Brunswick so far. Here's Aquila. Intended for Jennings and now cleared by Barbado. Aquila goes to the ground to win it and does well. Bonnie Reese now punches it. Here's Barbado. Jenna Barbado. And Piscataway again pushes it wide. Piscataway being very conservative on defense. Not asking a lot of Noakes in terms of setting up the offense, just to knock it wide and have the defense reorganize on the East Brunswick throw-in.
Well, she hasn't really been challenged back there in the sweeper yet. Offside call on the far side. Piscataway seems content to punch it downfield and try to beat him with speed.
That or knock the ball wide and get it out of bounds immediately.
Or shoot from 40 yards.
And score. Well, right now it's Alyssa Kesar is going to battle most of the shadows at the other end of the field. And the Piscataway goalie, Bernadette Moran, is mostly in the shadows. Although across from her right side, the actual left wing side, would probably be troublesome as the ball passed from the sun into the shadows. Tiffany Day. Davis controls for EB.
Nice first touch to control that ball and flip it back over.
Sable working on the left wing. Knocked out of bounds, and EB will get the throw. You can see Jenna Barbado shielding her eyes from the sun. It's bright over there. Here's Davis, top of the box.
She's got no movement from her teammates, though, to try to free themselves up.
Noakes is there to clear. Here's Jennings with a nice move and is taken down hard. And a pretty rough collision there with Bonnie Reese.
No shrinking violet out there on defense.
Both players appear to be okay. It'll be a free kick for Piscataway. Just under 13 minutes to play first half. We're tied at 1. Ashley Stapleton scored off a cross from Lauren Hendricks at the 11-minute mark. And Piscataway tied it on about a 35-yard shot from Wendy Jennings. Actually, it was Mary Jennings, her younger sister. Freshman came up from the stopper spot to drill one. Tiffany Day looking for help. Ball free, top of the box. Fenton is there for Piscataway. East Brunswick clears. Misplay by here is going to be trouble. O'Reilly all over it. Play forward. And Sable did well to get back onside. She was close to being offside when the ball was played forward.
Well, you could see in the attack from the back, Justine Barbado played it off and started an overlapping run, but the pass was played away from her, and she had to retreat quickly lest she get caught upfield.
Good challenge by Noakes, using her size to her advantage. There's a ball played forward. O'Reilly again in that full sprint. Gives a little poke to Moran. In an attempt to try to pry the ball free and whistle in a foul. Referee with a caution for Heather O'Reilly. Carrie Noakes will take the free kick for Piscataway.
Now, their first meeting, O'Reilly put the Bears up 1-0, literally knocking the ball as it was in midair right out of Moran's hands.
Punch forward. O'Reilly in a battle to get to it first. Piscataway wins this time. Justine Barbado now called to work on Tiffany Day, who plays it inside in a 1-on-3 facing Wendy Jennings when the ball was served. Gaping hole in the middle. Tara Davis closes for Sable. Back to Davis in the midfield. They can't quite get it to O'Reilly.
It's happened too many times so far. Just can't get it up over the top. You got to put a little more pace on the ball.
Lara Eilhart wide for Jenna Barbado. Picked up there by Colleen Reese out of bounds. Be an EB throw. Here's Fenton. Intercepted by Davis. With a play for Stapleton. Knock it forward for O'Reilly. Being a foot race now with Noakes. And again, Noakes just punches it wide. They're playing it cautious. No gambles in the back for Piscataway so far, and it's worked well for them.
Shannon Miller and Carrie Devine into the match for Eilhart and Ashley Stapleton. As Coach Kosa rotates some fresh troops in.
Miller just a junior. Her first action this afternoon. The Devine returns. Throw in far side. Here's Simi. Top of the box. Gets free. Service, and it's just wide. More of a shot than the serve. Fourth shot for East Brunswick overall.
Well, if she was serving that one, she better have one heck of a tall forward in there to nod that one down.
Here's Noakes on the goal kick for Piscataway with 9.5 to play first half. We're tied at 1. Flick on by Guarneri. And played out by Unger. Shania Siebels, number 19, will take the throw for Piscataway. Fenton plays forward. It's picked off there by Miller. Piscataway wins in the back with help from a new player in the game. Number 4 is Lindsay Beck.
See, Piscataway has been playing cautious. They've brought numbers back on defense. They're content to lose. If they lose the ball in the midfield, they're going to make darn sure they stop them in their third of the field on defense. Nothing much going through.
Piscataway's been very aggressive. They're a physically aggressive team. Not afraid to go to the ground and make a slide tackle, and they do it in very smart parts of the field. Aquila with the throw for Piscataway. Here's Tiffany Day trying to make a move, trying to free herself up. Miller there to disrupt things. Simi comes away with it. Davis. Cleared by Piscataway. You can see that when Noakes comes up to help from her sweeper spot and gets caught up with the other defenders, that's probably where East Brunswick is going to spring free and get a goal. Because nobody's going to be able to catch O'Reilly if she slips behind the defense.
Well, the trouble right now is the Bears are playing too much of a north-south game, and they're almost too dependent on trying to chip the ball long and letting Heather O'Reilly beat them. And yeah, the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In this case, it's a little bit fractured, so you got to make some minor repairs here.
And if they would watch a video clip or highlight from their first goal, they would see that getting the ball wide and then serving it has worked for them. It's the only shot they've had on goal, and it went in.
O'Reilly coming out from a breather with about 7 minutes left in the half.
Here comes Justine Barbado with a clear. In the middle for Shannon McHale. There's McHale in pursuit of Fenton. McHale now in pursuit of Kruger. And good pressure by McHale forces Piscataway out of bounds.
It'll only be a matter of minutes before McHale's uniform is dirty. She'll fight for everything she can get out there.
Tiffany Day with her back to the goal, working in the midfield. Piscataway getting help from Guarneri, but Simi comes away with it. Good play by Steph. Piscataway goes wide to Kruger. Now Jennings. Nice leave, but a good read.
I'm afraid the ball watching has been contagious to the forwards, too. Simi made a nice play through the middle, but nobody ran into the space.
It's a good jam between McHale and Mary Jennings that time. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Piscataway toss.
The most dangerous thing is to give an opponent confidence. And now Piscataway's feeling they can beat East Brunswick to the ball, and they're playing with a lot more confidence.
Good sliding knock forward of the ball by Mary Jennings. Tiffany Day giving grief to Unger and wins it. Rather, it's Reese. Day has it poked away now. Here's Jenna Barbado. And again, poked out of bounds by a sliding Piscataway player, Nicole Aquila. It's Bonnie Reese.
Dangerous play back there.
Tiffany Day trying to make something happen. Miller the clear for East Brunswick. Fenton regains. Now it's Siebels. All kinds of confusion in the midfield. Reese tries to change field for McHale. Davis is going to come away with it. Leaves it for McHale. One back by Devine, and now Piscataway will clear. Here's Kruger working on McHale, and a whistle. And the ball's out of bounds. East Brunswick throw in. Looking to create something. It's not been there so far on a steady basis for either team. Ilana Unger chasing down Wendy Jennings. Unger wins it.
Piscataway's been running with a very short bench so far. We've not seen more than 1 or 2 substitutions out there, so Coach Mayer's trying to maintain any momentum that Piscataway might have captured from the early part of the game.
Now McHale and Devine collide. That creates a free ball for Guarneri, and it was handled by East Brunswick. Piscataway will get the free kick.
Of course, Mary Jennings is running around out there not knowing what to do without O'Reilly there to cover.
Service by Guarneri. And a good clear by Simi. Guarneri for Jennings. Flick ball. Barbado able to clear somewhat. Piscataway being aggressive to the ball. Simi plays forward. This is McHale. McHale looking for Sable. Sable in a one-on-one with Noakes. Sable with the advantage right now. Ball running out. She saves it, and it is going to run out on Allison Sable. Good pursuit against Noakes. About 3:10 to go first half. We're still tied. Excellent effort by Sable.
Allie, turn around and play the ball. Come on, Al.
I'm sure Lucas always loves having all those extra coaches out there in the stands.
Shannon Miller plays forward, but again, Noakes will clear for Piscataway. Reese runs it down, collides with Jennings. Here's Unger.
One person with the ball, nobody moving.
Miller, but Piscataway wins back. Good step forward. East Brunswick on the move on a nice win. Throw in, another substitution. Ashley Stapleton returns. Heather O'Reilly returns. Sable will take a breather, as will Jenna Barbado.
Trying to make a push these last 2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the opening half. Here's O'Reilly. Davis steps through, but Piscataway with good help on defense is Fenton. Able to stay with Davis. Here's O'Reilly with a flick. O'Reilly still battling. Here's Miller, pushing it wide for Reese. Good play. Good job of opening up the field. Punch right back into traffic. Noakes is there. Simi with a shot, lofted it. It goes in! From 25 yards away.
Touche.
Exactly. Stephanie Simi able to knock one home. And East Brunswick, with about a minute to go in the first half, is able to take the lead. 6th goal of the year for Stephanie Simi. Inability to clear the ball, hurting Piscataway that time.
It's almost identical situation to the Piscataway goal, where the keeper gets caught just off the line and it's nearly impossible to jump while you're backpedaling. I don't care how tall you are.
Here's Nicole Aquila. Service in the box. Day and Jennings there. Neither comes up with it. Good win by Mary Jennings to punch it back up and keep Piscataway on the attack, and now it's cleared out of bounds. Chiefs will throw it in.
Did you notice, though, when O'Reilly and Stapleton came back into the game, all of a sudden Piscataway had to be more conscious of them, and Simi had a clear look at the goal.
Complexion of the game changed immediately. O'Reilly plays it forward, intended for Devine. Knocked out again by Noakes. Quick throw to O'Reilly, who curls it back and will try to change fields, but it's picked off by Guarneri. A quick play forward. This could be trouble. Tiffany Day in a foot race, and Kesar anticipates well and picks it up just inside the penalty area.
A lot of hands on the back. Referees are letting them play so far, but you never want to complain about the officiating. You just tell the kids you play to whatever they're allowing and see if they can adjust.
Referees looking at the watches. First half just about done. Tiffany Day steps through to win it. Her back to the goal, plays forward. Blocked by Miller. Guarneri for Jennings. Guarneri again, and we've come to the end of the first half. 40 minutes in the books here at J. Doyle Field. East Brunswick leads at 2-1. Ashley Stapleton got things going for the Lady Bears first, finishing across with her head from Lauren Hendricks. That was at the 11-minute mark. 11 minutes later, it was Mary Jennings from 30 yards out, knotting things up. And then with a minute to go in the first half, Steph Simi, with her 6th goal of the year, puts East Brunswick ahead 2-1. That's where we stand after 40 minutes, Phil.
Yeah, it's amazing the way things change out there. Piscataway took it to them after the Bears' first goal. Piscataway came back about 6-7 minutes later and put it in. Had all the momentum, but did absolutely nothing once they got inside the box.
Second half action coming up. Stand by. All right, here we go, half number 2. Carrie Devine playing things for East Brunswick. East Brunswick 5 shots in the first half, 2 of them on goal. Piscataway 1 shot on goal, 1 shot overall, and it was a good one. 2-1 is the score. East Brunswick looking to take a firm, commanding lead of the GMC Red Division. They will do that if they beat Piscataway here today.
What you see Piscataway doing on defense is Noakes is hanging back there, maybe 10 yards behind her next line of defenders. What I might do is take somebody like O'Reilly, who's being marked heavily, and tell her to stay by the sweeper. In effect, should be occupying 2 people at the same time.
Yeah, especially because we've seen Noakes come up and make herself even with some of the other backs.
Well, Noakes has a strong leg, but she doesn't appear to be the most mobile person out there. So if a ball played near her, that O'Reilly can reach, it's not going to be any contest.
And you can see Noakes with the left knee wrap. She's played well so far, though. Good conservative defensive effort today. They're not fooling around in the back Piscataway. They get it. They either push it up really far or they push it very wide and get it out of bounds, and they reorganize during the throw-in.
Lack of communication on that play.
This is Wendy Jennings. Gets it punched forward by Reese. Won by Guarneri. Finds Jennings. Jennings with service in the box. Day is there, but East Brunswick read it well. Guarneri still battling. Justine Barbado able to punch it wide. O'Reilly coming all the way back. Tiffany Day service.
Hey, we got a goalkeeping change for the Bears in the second half. Melissa Ruff checking in.
So they slot Ruff in there after the first 40 minutes were handled by Kesar. Actually don't have Kesar for a save. Made a couple of plays, but didn't actually make the save of a shot. Devine with the throw, near sideline. Hendricks. O'Reilly. Devine the throw, the flick head by Davis. We've seen that a lot today.
Bear forwards are giving Noakes far too much respect on defense.
Here's Simi. Playing it wide for Stapleton. Stapleton, great serve in the box. Davis is there, and Fenton able to clear. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a corner kick.
I think both Davis and Hennick were surprised that Stapleton was able to catch up to it and get it across the box.
Terrific play by Stapleton. First corner kick of the afternoon for either team. At the spot. It went by O'Reilly. Davis first to the ball. Davis with great hustle. Plays back for Ilana Unger. Unger tries to change fields for Simi. Simi lofts it up. O'Reilly gets caught up with Noakes. Momentarily loses it. Still free.
Noakes caught out of position right now. They can get it in there.
Simi with a long service off the bar. Reese tried to clear. Piscataway. Jennings got a shot at it. East Brunswick pushes it wide. Davis with a chance there. Piscataway having all kinds of trouble clearing the ball.
Well, Noakes got caught way up and was not quick to get back there. They left that open.
Talked about that potentially being the Achilles heel here for Piscataway. Noakes coming up a little bit too far, a little over aggressive in coming forward, and seeing somebody like O'Reilly chase the ball down like right now. But Noakes is there this time. Stapleton with the service. Davis near the top of the box. Piscataway pushes it out.
That was a sharp play by Stapleton. Get that ball back in as the defense is shifting towards the flow of the ball. Get that cross right in on the first touch.
Here's Tiffany Day, Piscataway's leading scorer. A fairly quiet afternoon. Has shown some really good ball control in key spots around the 18. Ruff comes up and drills one up the wing, but it's quickly collected by Aquila. Eilhart steps in front of Guarneri to win. Lara taking on a third Piscataway defender.
Holding on to the ball too long that time. Coming out of your own end, as we discussed in the first half.
Now get some help from Simi. It's won back by Aquila, who will lift it wide, and it will roll out of bounds. Piscataway will get the throw. Here's Simi. And Piscataway again there. Big change of fields. Here comes Ruff. No trouble there. Davis, Day in pursuit. And Ruff will punt.
Bears have got to make more of these 1-2 passes instead of just playing the ball long downfield.
Simi intended wide for Stapleton. Deflected off Piscataway, and EB will get the throw. 4.5 minutes gone by. Second half rather. Still 2-1 East Brunswick. Piscataway on the march again. Wendy Jennings in for Tiffany Day in a one-on-one. Day loses her balance. And the Bears clear. Good job by Justine Barbado coming over from the sweeper spot. Getting the job done. This is Reese. Will take the throw in on the near side for Piscataway. Day punches it in front. No trouble for Ruff.
Well, knowing how ferocious Barbado is back there at sweeper, she probably snarled a little because Day backed off real quick.
Guarneri. And EB comes away with it. Played forward, intended for Hendricks. Hendricks giving chase, it'll roll out of bounds on her.
Piscataway's doing a lot of ball chasing on defense. The Bears have got to get some people overlapping because all they're doing is playing straight forward, midfield, and defense and not creating anything.
Bonnie Reese. Nice collection by Hendricks on the near sideline. Davis plays for Simi. And here's the race they're looking for, but Noakes had it played fairly well, and it's cleared by Moran. Piscataway goalie. One back by Stapleton. And loses out to Shania Siebels. Ball played forward for Day, playing with her back to the goal, and a nice job. Finds Guarneri. Now picked off by Carrie Devine. Davis with another flick head. We've seen her in that spot a lot today. Guarneri eludes Simi. Guarneri on the move, but gives it away.
Smart play, nobody moving through the middle for the Bears.
Fenton on the attack for Piscataway. Helter-skelter in the midfield. Davis pushes it wide, hoping O'Reilly can catch up with it. The freshman does well to win it. But eventually she runs into a third defender and can't make the play.
Be a handball against Piscataway. Even if O'Reilly doesn't get the ball, you best not hang on to it too long.
She's a nightmare. Simi. Service wide. Good touch, but it's going to run. Goal kick coming out for Piscataway. Just about 8 minutes gone by, second half, still 2-1 East Brunswick. Noakes with the goal kick coming up for the Chiefs. 10-1 on the season. The only blemish on that record, the loss to East Brunswick. 3-0 defeat at Piscataway.
Well, to Piscataway, that just isn't a blemish. That's a big old pimple right now.
Quick throw for Simi. Knocks it out, another goal kick.
Even though the Bears are in the lead, you don't see a lot of anticipation or, thinking ahead to the next couple of plays. It's more of we're going to react to what's happening and instead of creating something out there. And you can see it's very herky-jerky movements out there.
Yeah, there's really no flow to the game right now. Each team looking to establish some type of control. Piscataway a little quicker through the midfield and winning the 50-50 balls in the midfield right now.
Got to stick one of the forwards back there on Noakes. She's not a mobile defender, but she's getting a lot of time to be able to push it out.
Here's Tiffany Day looking for help. Double teamed. Hendricks is there. Reese was there. And Devine able to work for the throw-in. Hendricks. Davis left it for her, but a little miscommunication. Eilhart punches for O'Reilly. Here's O'Reilly on the break. O'Reilly with a chance. Knees it forward. O'Reilly in behind the defense, gets knocked down in the box, and it's going to be a corner kick. Good physical play by Noakes, able to push O'Reilly off the ball just enough.
Well, it was 1-on-4, so it was a fair fight down there.
Here comes the corner. Good service. And a goal! Tara Davis with a terrific finish off the head. Similar to the first goal that East Brunswick scored, Ashley Stapleton gets the assist off the corner. And once again, they lifted it over the top of Bernadette Morgan, and Davis able to finish on the head. 2 textbook goals for East Brunswick of their 3. So East Brunswick now pulls in front, 3-1.
Classic case of not marking the people coming up the weak side there. Everybody got too caught up looking for the ball. And Davis just slid right through the middle there and had knotted the ball in beautifully.
Simi with a chance in the middle.
That could open the floodgates. That last goal is going to be big.
Simi for O'Reilly. O'Reilly, happy feet, top of the arc. Piscataway clears. Eilhart in a battle. Piscataway still gritting it out. Tiffany Day looking for help. Day with a pass intended for Guarneri. It's picked off on a good step in by Reese, or rather Unger. Devine controls. Guarneri steps in and wins it.
That last play by Unger that's what the Bears need. Get control of your first touch and try to make a smart play upfield instead of playing kickball.
Here's Davis, workhorse in the midfield. Nice layoff by O'Reilly. That's a play you normally make a senior make. Normally see a senior make, rather. Guarneri, here's Wendy Jennings. Jennings trying to find something up the left flank. Stapleton.
Keela scraping herself off the ground over there.
Keela taking some inventory. She went down hard. Clean play by Stapleton. And she'll take the throw.
A lot of space open on the weak side over here if anybody can read it for the Bears.
Off balance shot by Piscataway. Wendy Jennings pushed it wide. It'll be a goal kick. Just over 12 minutes gone by, second half. East Brunswick up to a 3-1 lead. Here's Ruff with the goal kick. Piscataway controls. Guarneri now double teamed. Here's Davis. Davis with good footwork. Looking for Hendricks wide, and the ball will run out. Piscataway will get it back.
Well, Piscataway's going to have to push forward if they want to have any chance of getting back into this game. And that could be counterproductive for him, as it'll open up more space up top for Davis and O'Reilly.
Piscataway throw in. Tiffany Day with a quick one. And she'll do it again. Carrie Devine keeps interrupting things for East Brunswick. Good heads-up defense. And Day now chops down Reese. Have a free kick.
Very frustrated Tiffany Day right now.
Well, Day unable to get in the foot race that she wants with the East Brunswick backs. Here's O'Reilly trying to make something happen, and she does. Causes some confusion. Noakes is out of position. Let's see what happens. Davis with a chance. Almost got it behind the defense for O'Reilly. Piscataway comes away with it. Good split pass. Here's Guarneri. Day with room. Tiffany Day back in for Guarneri. Good ball movement by Piscataway as they swing it from side to side. Good ball control. Nice change of field. Look at the gaping hole in the center of the field. Aquila. Push off called, and Piscataway gets the free kick.
Tough call, as you would say.
I would agree with you.
See, I'm learning.
See, and if you said that during the game, you wouldn't get a yellow card if you were coaching your club team, too.
Well, I've got a pretty good record there so far. None yet.
I can't stand when coaches do that.
Just have to let the officials know you're trying to help them.
Yeah. Simi went to the ground to help block that. Here's a long shot, and Ruff makes the save. Well, we've seen Jennings do that in the first half, and she came up with a goal as a result. Not this time. Ruff was there. Kruger punches it forward. Guarneri goes wide. Oh, miscommunication. Colleen Reese for Tiffany Day. Day has done well to find some seams, even though she's been forced to play with her back to the goal and against at least two players at all times.
Well, she's been getting the ball, but I have yet to see a pass that's been constructed to a teammate yet. It's been all, like you said, in through the seams and into space, but nowhere near any teammate.
Here's Davis. Plays forward for O'Reilly, but Noakes wise to their little scam. Now O'Reilly creating havoc on the far side. Stapleton coming over to help. Now Wendy Jennings. Here's Tiffany Day working on 3 defenders. Now she'll have to shake Bonnie Reese.
Easier said than done.
Played into the middle. Guarneri can't catch up with it. Unger clears. Unger is dropped. And a dangerous play on Piscataway, and East Brunswick will get the indirect kick.
I think that was Alhart scraping off the ground that time. Unger was over there saying, boy, I'm glad that wasn't me.
And this ball will roll out. It'll be an EB throw. Jenna Barbado, Allison Sable checking into the game for East Brunswick as Lauren Hendricks takes a breather, along with Carrie Devine. O'Reilly. Ball finds its way now to Reese. Nobody to go to, just surrounded by Piscataway players.
Boy, Reese had O'Reilly breaking down the middle, but she opted to spin the other way. There goes Stapleton down the weak side again, if unmarked, if anybody could see her.
Here's O'Reilly with a play for Simi. Simi with a head up. Played right to Piscataway. Siebels for Jennings. Unger goes down in a heap.
Now Unger's on the ground.
A little slow to get up, but she's all right. Tiffany Day, top of the box. Easy play for Ruff. Both teams are falling victim to the same thing. They keep punching the ball down the middle where the numbers are. If they would get it wide and try to work around the sweeper, they might have some better luck. Noakes steps forward and punches one. Fenton. Fenton gets it back. Forward for Jennings. Working on Unger on the left wing. Unger wins that.
Great play by Alana.
And then draws the foul.
Absolutely. Great play. You know, it's one thing with the defender to take the ball away from the opponent, but in the same motion to be able to turn it around and bring it back upfield, that was a heads-up play.
Yeah, Unger also keeping Jennings in her hip pocket there. Positioning her body and not allowing Jennings to get back in the play.
And she's only a sophomore.
Piscataway with another free kick here. They lob it down the middle again where all the traffic is. Guarneri comes up with it, and she has good range. If she gets loose, she'll fire it from the top of the box. Here's O'Reilly in a 1-on-3. Simi. Guarneri for Piscataway. Day gets dropped and a whistle and a foul.
Let's see how the Bears organize on defense. Melissa Ruff trying to organize a wall. Post covered. So far, so good.
This will give also Piscataway a chance at a rebound by drawing players all the way back to the goal line. Tiffany Day will have a crack at it. About 28 yards away.
Sounds good to me.
And the field goal is good.
It's good.
Well, they could use a 3 spot right now, but wrong sport. Shot over the top, and it'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick.
Jennings getting a breather as O'Reilly comes off.
Sable. And Noakes, again, equal to the task. Hits Guarneri in the middle. Davis for Simi.
Oh, nice head ball.
Great flick. Piscataway wins it back. Jenna Barbado up the near wing, but it'll roll out. Intended for Sable.
That was a nice play back by Lara Alhart. She did a nice job, denied the pass, and then didn't hold on to the ball that time. Made a nice square pass.
Nice step through by Davis. Davis with an opportunity. Sable has to be careful offsides on the near side. The ball wasn't played her way. Rolls out of bounds. Just beyond the midway point of the second half, East Brunswick with a 2-goal cushion. They lead Piscataway 3-1. Simi. Guarneri steps in. And they'll get Simi. I guess that was a foul.
Well, he had to make sure his whistle was clean on that. I couldn't see anything on that.
Sable. Well, Simi thought Davis had it, and Davis was forced to track it down.
Eye contact is not going to do it. Verbalize what you want to do.
Here's Siebels. Stapleton will knot it out.
You know, it's amazing with the kids in high school ball. They can talk and talk and talk and practice before the games, everything. I tell them all the time, at home, if one of the parents just blow the whistle if you want them to stop talking. When the game starts, you barely hear a peep out of most of them. It's incredible.
Charge in the back from Kruger. East Brunswick with a free kick. You know what? I just thought of something. I think you're onto something here. If the girls had phones attached to their heads, they'd be much better communicators on the field. How about that?
Now they need little notebooks because they can instant message each other. Trouble is, they'll be sending the wrong messages to the wrong people by hitting the wrong buttons. So,
18 minutes to go. Carrie Devine will check back into the game for East Brunswick.
This is not a plug for AOL, by the way.
Jenna Barbado goes to right midfield. Gives Ashley Stapleton a breather. Stapleton with a goal and an assist on the day so far. She's played well.
And yet another one of the sophomores. Every year for the past 10 years, there's always rumors about Lukosa retiring. I think we'll be retired before he leaves. And why should he? He's having fun.
Tiffany Day looking to use the speed. Nice ball for Wendy Jennings. Jennings still facing a 1-on-3. Back for Aquila. Back for Jennings. With room at the top of the box, but things are collapsing around her quickly, and East Brunswick clears. Simi's shown really good composure in the middle of the park today.
Oh, the danger back on defense for the Bears is one of the cardinal sins is having a sweeper having to take on one of the forwards. The sweeper's the last line of defense. She should not be marking one of the forwards.
Fenton. Piscataway with an opportunity, served in the box, but another easy chance for Ruff. Piscataway has had, if we kept track of possession time, Piscataway actually might be leading. But certainly East Brunswick has had more dangerous of opportunities, and Melissa Ruff has had an easy afternoon here in the second half. Piscataway has kind of done well between the 18s, and that's about it.
Well, you always hear that same thing in football games, time of possession, but doesn't translate into points.
Absolutely. Carrie Devine.
That was a good non-call, even though the fans are riled up.
Good win by Justine Barbado and good hustle. She hustles back into position and is there to win that ball.
I can't recall the last game that Justine has come out for a substitute.
Lara Eilhart knocks it forward. Near side, Sable. Now Devine. Steps through two defenders. Mary Jennings there to step forward. Jennings has Piscataway's only goal. Wendy Jennings, this is her older sister now in possession. Back to her younger sibling. Noakes steps forward now. And Guarneri helps her out by winning a misplayed ball.
Goes back to keeping the sweeper on the other team honest by posting somebody on her.
Mary Jennings, freshman for Piscataway. For Colleen Reese, Guarneri plays to Day. Nice combination passing. Here's Day with a chance. Four players near her. Guarneri just toes one is all she could do with it. And now a shot by Reese goes over the top. Piscataway showing that they have not quit yet.
Dangerous defense. You know, that last shot that came, I couldn't see who kicked it out, but basically the Bear defender was playing like another goalie. You know, you want to trap that thing and run the ball out, not just set him back up for another shot, or you're going to turn it into a firing range out there. Another one of my pet peeves.
Clearing the ball up the middle of the field. High and wide it's supposed to go, high and wide. Carrie Devine. Loses out there to Fenton. Tiffany Day trying to find Guarneri. Guarneri all over the place. Guarneri hustling, winds up beating three for Piscataway. Tiffany Day again down numbers. Reese serves it forward and another easy chance for Ruff.
Neither of the Bear keepers have really had much of a test. You or I could probably be out there today and do an adequate job.
All right, now you're stepping over the line. I don't do goal.
Okay, I could do an adequate job.
I don't do goal.
Only because I'm wider than you.
Ilana Unger plays it wide. Guarneri will track it down. Man, Guarneri has had a heck of a workout in the middle of the field today for Piscataway.
I think she's the one you have to worry about more than Tiffany Day, the way the game's progressed.
Yeah, Guarneri has had a lot of touches in the midfield. Ashley Stapleton will check back in. So will Heather O'Reilly for East Brunswick.
Almost like Batman and Robin today. One comes on, the other has to come on too.
Shannon McHale and Jenna Barbado will take a breather. Colleen Reese, middle of the park for Guarneri. Wendy Jennings picks it up. Well, Guarneri getting first to the ball again. A nice service wide for Tiffany Day. Guarneri's having a good afternoon. Hasn't gotten a lot of help, but is having a good afternoon. Tiffany Day physically works past 3 defenders. Ball still loose and unable to be cleared.
She had a left foot. She should have cranked one then, boy, because she had the opportunity from about 12 yards out.
No doubt. Piscataway goes on the floor again to win a 50-50 ball, but Simi's strength wins out there, and here's Guarneri to collect another one. Back for Mary Jennings. O'Reilly with good anticipation. O'Reilly gets knocked down by Jennings. East Brunswick, just a lot of standing around. Here comes Guarneri on the overlap. Guarneri may have run about 6-7 miles this afternoon. And Unger will knock it out. Piscataway throw. Guarneri will handle that too. Unger.
Now, none of the Bear midfielders are marking people right now. They're kind of playing a zone defense back there, which is dangerous.
Yeah, you can see players standing around with their hands on their hips. That's not what you want to see on defense. Jennings again, dangerous coming forward and pushes a shot wide. She scored on a similar play in the first half. Substitution in the game now as we see Jamie Pease coming in to give Tara Davis a breather.
Davis looking a little sore down there. She pulls her shoe off. Maybe got her toe stepped on.
Here's O'Reilly. Playing it forward. Allie Sable can't come up with it. Here's O'Reilly. Nice serve. Here's Pease with room. Playing it wide for Devine. Good combination. Devine steps in. It's a 2-on-1. There's a play forward now for Sable. Out comes Moran. It's blocked off of Sable. She's going to get an easy goal. Nice finish by Allison Sable. Wow. Good heads-up play and excellent pursuit of the finish. And East Brunswick leads at 4-0.
Yeah, that was just a hard-nosed play by Sable. She didn't give up. It's a tendency to flinch when a goalie comes out to clear a ball off the line or out of the zone. But she just held her ground. She took that one right in the chest and was basically able to walk it into the net.
I mean, change what I said earlier. It's 4-1, not 4-0. East Brunswick now with 3 unanswered goals after Piscataway had tied it in the first half.
And as you notice, the entire match, there's been so much concern from Piscataway to the O'Reilly and Davis connection. Neither one of them has been directly involved in any aspect of the scoring today. It's amazing how these things work.
And Sable, now with her 13th goal of the season, I believe. Not bad for somebody coming off the bench. Wow, we talk about firepower. Am I right on that?
Absolutely.
13 for Sable?
You're the man.
Do I know what I'm talking about or what?
You're everything you say you are.
I mean, 13 goals off the bench. Are you kidding me? Sable would be leading a lot of teams in the GMC in scoring.
Well, you got a lot of. You got Simi with 6 now, Stapleton with 5, Hendricks with 5, Devine's got 4.
Nice service by Guarneri. It is off the side of the post and cleared away. Look out, here comes O'Reilly. She's got a matchup. O'Reilly pushes it forward in a race with Noakes. Noakes takes longer strides, but O'Reilly a little quicker, but Noakes had a head start there and pushes it wide. It's been the Piscataway defensive game plan here this afternoon.
O'Reilly with the defenders like the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
In the game now for East Brunswick, Anne-Marie Michlik.
And just, excuse me, Ashley Barbado. How can I miss that one? One-third of the terrific Barbado trio. Talk about a lot of sister combinations on a Piscataway team. None of them have 3 from the same family.
You got that right. Good hustle by Stapleton coming back on defense. About 8 minutes to go, 8.5 to play. 4-1. East Brunswick has extended to a 3-goal lead.
Well, with the way the Bears played on Wednesday against Ridge, a powerhouse in the state, ranked number 4 in the Star Ledger and undefeated so far. The Bears taking them to overtime and nearly winning the ball, except for a couple glancing off the crossbar. Plus this strong performance against a very, very tough Piscataway team. I could see the Bears moving up in the Star Ledger poll this week.
Michlik giving chase here on the near sideline. Same for Carrie Devine. East Brunswick gets the throw. Devine for Michlik. Devine beats 2. Ooh, and nearly a thread of a needle pass for O'Reilly. A good step in by Fenton to win for Piscataway, but punched it to nobody. And Reese recollects for EB. Michlik with the high toss. Noakes is there. Eilhart knocks it back in. Here's a chance for Pease. Pease with a nice job getting that volley off, but Moran is there for Piscataway.
That was a heads-up play. I mean, a shot like that, the keeper's not looking for the ball. She's looking for that ball to be played out wide to her left by Pease. Jamie just wound and fired.
Seven minutes to play. East Brunswick well in command. They'll get their 11th win of the year. Tiffany Day.
We're getting spoiled here by all these powerful performances from both the boys and the girls teams this year.
Here's Stapleton on a nice overlapping run. Gets the feed from O'Reilly. Looking to get to the goal line and serve it. In the box for O'Reilly. Good turn on the dime. Shot and a save. Wow, nice turn by O'Reilly. She plays beyond her years, that's for sure. And O'Reilly causing more problems in the Piscataway defense.
Shannon Miller in for Lara Eilhart.
Eilhart gets a
at
breather.
The stopper position.
Eilhart's
probably has her day finished at this point.
Has had a busy day in the middle of the field. Shannon McHale off the bench. She's getting set to check back in. She checks with the boss, Lou Cosa. Cosa now in his 22nd season.
Where were you 22 years ago?
Goodness gracious. I think I still had training wheels on my bicycle. Well, that would have made me 10.
I hope so.
Here's Michlik. Ashley Barbado. Now a foul in the midfield. They caught Ashley Barbado getting tangled up with Guarneri. 5.5 to go. This will pretty much lock things up for East Brunswick in the GMC Red Division. They will remain undefeated. 2 losses and a tie, all coming out of conference. A tie to Westfield, a loss to Brick, 1-0 on the penalty kick, and lost the other day to perennial powerhouse Ridge.
Yeah, they only have one GMC game left against JP Stevens next Tuesday. Then they play a tough out-of-conference opponent in Roxbury. And the following day, Saturday, the GMC preliminaries, which at this point looks like the Bears should get a first-round bye.
And when the postseason starts, East Brunswick will be looking for its 20th GMC conference crown, tournament crown.
Good call.
Tough call on O'Reilly.
That was a good call.
You like that one?
Yeah, that was
All
a
right.
very good call.
Noakes in a good spot, catches O'Reilly offsides. 4.5 to go. It's all academic at this point.
But it would be nice to get one of those one-on-one breakaways just to see how she can twist the defender inside out.
Now, watching O'Reilly run away from the pack with the ball at this point in her career is already kind of like watching Michael Johnson when you know he's going to be in a 200-meter sprint for the U.S. track and field team. You just kind of stop and watch in amazement.
Oh, she's not a tall kid. She's small, wiry, but those arms and legs just start flailing all over the place. And maybe that's a distraction for an opponent.
Or she creates a lot of wind. That windmill-like motion of her arms when she gets cranking.
Yeah, she creates a lot of wind, all right.
It's like a gale-forced wind if she goes running by and you're standing still.
Hurricane Heather.
Yeah, there you go. Here's Pease. Ashley Barbado trying to help out on Guarneri.
Which way are the Bears going right now?
Here comes Tiffany Day. Day with a long shot and a save by Melissa Ruff.
Oh, the new cast of characters sprinkled out there for the Bears. You still want to try to maintain some continuity.
And we talked before about Piscataway playing a good possession game. They've had moments where they've really looked terrific in the midfield, switching sides, able to keep possession, and yet through all of that, they only have 2 shots on goal. 3 shots overall.
And nothing that I would consider challenging except for the goal.
No, exactly. I mean, Ruff has had to handle the ball a number of times, but not from shots. Here's O'Reilly. New player in the game for Piscataway, Aaliyah King. King, number 7 in the midfield. Forward for Tiffany Day. Cleared by Reese. Little chip shot there by Aquila. And a save by Ruff. And we're less than 2 minutes away from East Brunswick winning this thing.
King, a nice play to clear that out as O'Reilly was right down her back.
Here's Aquila. Siebels came up hobbling for Piscataway. King knocks it forward for Bonnie Reese.
Strong play by Unger. Very smooth.
Unger's looked good in the back today. Plays it forward, it rolls out. Time winding down. Reese knocks it out. O'Reilly will take the throw in. Nice check in by McHale. Gets the flick head to Mitchlick. Good lefty cross. Here's Pease with a chance. Pease with the left-footed volley goes over the top.
She had a couple of quality chances for being out there so short a time.
Deflected off Piscataway. It'll be a corner kick. We'll see if there's enough time to get it off.
I think so.
I've got this as the 3rd corner kick on the afternoon for East Brunswick. None for Piscataway.
Watch this one curl towards the far post.
They've beaten Bernadette Moran on a corner kick today. That's how they scored their first goal. Mary Jennings with the clear.
So I lied. It was short to the near post.
Unger. Just beating up everybody on the near sideline. Looks like a wasteland when she gets through with players. McHale chips it up, intended for Pease, and out comes Moran to collect it. There's your ball game. East Brunswick wins it. 2 goals in the second half to pull away from a 2-1 halftime lead, and they win it by the final score of 4-1. East Brunswick on the board first. 11 minutes into the contest, Ashley Stapleton knocking it across from Lauren Hendricks, and Piscataway tied it 22 minutes into the game. as Mary Jennings came forward from her stopper spot and dropped one in over the head of Alyssa Kesar from about 35 yards away. Stephanie Simi then gave East Brunswick a 2-1 lead just before halftime with about a minute to go. Then after the break, it was Tara Davis off the corner kick from Ashley Stapleton, and Allison Sable finished the scoring on a great individual effort, beating Bernadette Moran for the fourth and final goal, and East Brunswick wins it 4-1.
Just a strong overall performance from the Bears. Tiffany Day, the big score for Piscataway, had no cracks at the net the entire day, except for that one floater that went in. Piscataway was basically non-existent in the Bears' box, and with the conference tournament starting next week, it's very likely that Piscataway could end up with a number 3 seed behind Metuchen.
So an important win today for East Brunswick. They improved to 11-2-1 on the season. Piscataway drops to 10-1. Thanks to Cindy O'Connor and Scott White for my partner Phil Peterson. I'm Gordy Deal. Thanks for watching here at J. Doyle Field. Final score once again, East Brunswick 4, Piscataway 1.